Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. We would now be honored to hear from the man of the hour itself. Mr. Basu, may I please request to share a few words with us?
I hate farewells. I don't do farewells. It's kind of, among the many things they teach you across your working career, and I've been working, 40 years. I started in 1983 as an article clerk, right out of graduation. 86 I finished my CA, 86 onwards I've been working. So, in all these 40 years, I have not learned how to walk away. Or I've not learned how to disengage or say, all right, that's done, let's move. But I've done it. I've done it, at least a couple of times. This is my longest working stint, 16 years with Manipal. Before that, my last working stint with one group, doing many things again, not just with one of their companies, was from 93 to 2008. 15 years with one group in East Africa. And walking away from that group was immensely difficult because it meant giving up a life abroad and resettling home for various personal reasons. Before that, of course, from 86 to 93, I worked across two jobs essentially. One with India Cements in Chennai and the other with SKF Bearings in Mumbai. But you see, what I was saying about they don't teach you how to retire. Over time, when you put in 15 to 16 years building something, creating something with a lot of people, and then you realize that you ended up actually achieving something with the ownership of so many, you feel you suddenly become part of it, and you suddenly getting up every morning and saying that I'm not worried, it rained last evening. Whenever it rains in the evening, the next call is to Padki in the morning, saying M&D campus mein, lab mein dekho, pani niche aa gaya hoga. And every time there is some issue with the rain or something, the next call is to Srivatsan. Are all your cabs in at 9 o'clock? Where are they? And now I find that I don't have to worry about that in the morning, and I have this rather blank stare, saying that why am I not worrying about this anymore? But I suppose it happened, okay. One of the things I did resist was I did not like a farewell here because I wanted to quietly kind of walk away. I've said my goodbyes to most of the people on a one-on-one level. Felt more personal that way. And I'm not sure how many of you have really observed, I'm not a limelight guy. I don't like to get in front. I'd rather have others handling the front, and I'd rather nicely smile and gloat from the back, feeling very happy for all of us, of course. And today also, I did not want to do this. I kind of fought with Ambrish saying that, please, no, I'm not coming. I didn't even want a farewell lunch till he said, at least ek khana to kha lo hamare saath. So we did a bit of that with the senior leadership. And today was supposed to be a small high tea in 103. And then Ellen kind of conned me into saying that, dekho, 103 mein fit hona mushkil hai. I said, listen, okay, very limited crowd, please. अच्छा चलो ऑडिटोरियम के पीछे करते हैं. तो ठीक है, ऑडिटोरियम के सामने ऑफ रख रहा हूँ, उधर मुझे कुर्सी नहीं दिखना चाहिए. And the next thing I know, it is exactly what I had really kind of not felt very comfortable with. But it's okay, all of your people. I mean, you're still a fraction of the people I've interacted with here. One part of me feels sad that I'm not able to go, pump everybody's hand, give everybody a hug and say, hey, all right guys, I've had my time, now take this institution to greater heights. I suppose I'm doing that only with this limited set of you, who are all leaders in your own right for your teams and your verticals. A lot of ideas we still have for this academy, a lot of evolution and challenges with the changing trends in the industry. Samideep and I have kind of discussed at length with it, agreed, disagreed, and generally hustled about everything else we could do. We've done that with Ambrish too. And it's upon all of you now to steer course further. And I'm sure all of you will do a fantastic job. We've had some excellent good news for this year already in terms of new clients. We are thinking of new innovations on product line, on content, on pedagogy, and everything else that we've kind of wrestled about. And in my brief time with academics, which I think was 22 to 24 December, I think I've been that bit of a nightmare to all of you. Luckily, not beyond that. Ask Chetna about implementation of Digi, ask Soumya about setting up sourcing mechanisms, ask Sarika or Smita, or for that matter Meena, about changing curriculums from 6 to 4 to 5 or whatever months it was, and trying to understand why we need to teach in a certain way. I still remember Supriya running behind me when I tried to visit class. She used to be put on guard duty. Banda ja raha hai class mein, dekho kaun se class mein ja raha hai. Aur wapas aake bolo. And of course, the infra team perhaps has listened to the cream of my French over time. And I mean, Ellen, of course, said all nice things, but I was his worst nightmare, really. Not that he cared to admit it, but then, yeah. See, my philosophy in life is that hustle and, pull yourselves apart when you're trying to achieve something. But beyond that, once you kind of guard there, let your guard down and be easy and free in terms of enjoying the fruits of that. He talked about us creating a 700 KLD STP. Believe me, before we created that, if I'd gone and told anybody that I have 7 hostels spread all over the place and I'm going to create one central STP, they would have laughed in my face. And yet, we fought against, conventional wisdom, created with the help of Padki and team, and I think Ramesh of Indavara, if I remember right, Padki. We kind of hustled and created a design, worked against gravity. You had to pump stuff up from the lower hostels to a higher ground. And eventually ended up creating something which actually worked. And I would have easily agreed with you if you had told me I had water on the brain 3 years before we started constructing it. And yet we achieved something which was environmentally admirable. We are all bulk waste generators, and you know how the BBMP fights with managing waste and getting people to be responsible about waste. So what we achieved in terms of a central plant and handling the waste treatment of a campus, which at least 2,500, if not 3,500 at a time people, is something we can really give all ourselves a pat on the back on. There are many case studies. This can easily be one. We've of course been quoted severally and over the years, rightfully so, in terms of the innovations we've had on the academic front, in the way we've created boot camp programs or even mid-career programs over time. Our brand, our reputation, the trust the industry has in our offerings and our ability to transform talent is unmatched. There are people who have left us and gone to the competition, and there are people who come back from competition too. And all of them will tell you one thing uniformly: the Manipal brand has no parallel in the market. And I think all of you are proud bearers of that legacy, as I have been. And I'll still be, I always tell people I'm still the ghost in the building. So I'll be there somewhere in some nook or cranny, always a call away. I'm taking a bit of a break, understanding what it means to not have anything to worry about or do. My residential colony management is behind me saying, make yourself useful to us. So I have a few jobs running there. As many of you may know, I have a special needs son. And I would reckon a greater achievement of my life, at the cost of sounding immodest, is not so much what I've achieved academically or professionally. That many people do. There have been people who've done it much better and much bigger than what I have. Managing a family where I had 2 daughters, an autistic son, and making sure that none of the facets of the family suffered, going through with all the trials and tribulations that a special needs person at home can give you. I've somehow been able to balance the board and not let MAB know that I have a challenge at home, or not let home know that I have a challenge at MAB. And somehow, with all your help and with all your cooperation, that has been a success. Yes, MAB is proof that we've achieved a lot. We built a lot of brick and mortar, we built a lot of offerings, we built a lot of services. But what we really built over the last 16 years is soul. We built soul, we built belief. And we built that, what they call in Tamil, Unnal Mudiyum Thambi. And we've done that, and we've got there. And today, I may walk away from a vocation or a job or a profession due to the inevitability of how things work. But I'm not walking away from the relationships I've built with each of you. And so I'll always be around whenever you feel the need to speak to me. And with Ambrish's help and with the group's help, I'm trying to see whether I can take on some visiting faculty duties at Mahe Bangalore. And hopefully once that happens, I will be kind of rooting by at least once a month to say hello to all of you, grab a tea or something. All right. Thank you guys. I never thought or imagined I'd ever do a farewell speech, but here goes. I hope I've not messed it up. All right. Thank you.